In this lesson, we will look at the settings for the bill of materials and how we can customize the item bubbles. So we'll open an existing drawing. I will open the engine drawing. And I will zoom in the bill of materials. I will use the window zoom, like so. First of all, the data that we see here in the bill of materials are collected from the 3D scene, and the parts are placed in the same order as you find them in the scene browser. And in the description column, here you find the information you have typed in the description box in every part you have created. For example, when we created the displacer, we changed the username to displacer, and then we copied the name and we paste it in the description box. And that's why we see the information here. So if you don't type anything in the description box for a part, you will not have the information here in the description column. So that's why it's important to type the information in the description box. Then if we right-click the bill of materials, we have this menu. We can update the bill of materials. Sometimes we have to do that. I will later on I will show you. We can also delete it. We can also edit the bill of materials. If we click this button, we come to this dialog window where we can change the layout for the bill of materials. And I will right click again, and here we have alignment anchor, top alignment and bottom alignment. If we choose top alignment and we add a row in the bill of materials, the bill of materials will expand downward. And if it's bottom alignment, if we choose bottom alignment and we add a row, the bill of materials will expand upward. Bottom up display, now that is chosen. We see that the titles are placed at the bottom of the bill of materials. If I uncheck this box, we will have the titles at the top. But we will choose bottom up display. Rows based on, now it is part number. And if we click instance, then I will have to update the bill of materials, and I will update it. And we see that now we have a different order of the items. And you saw also that the bill of materials expanded upward. If I right click again and I will choose rows based on part number, and I will right click to update, you will see that it will go back where we started. But if we right click and choose alignment anchor top alignment and do the same, rows based on instance, and right click to update, you will see that the bill of materials will expand downward. So that's the difference. I will choose part number and I will update. We continue here. We can also save the bill of materials as a template to retain the current changes we have made and so on. We can place it in a new drawing. We can also export the data to an Excel file and also to a text file. You can also use add custom export tool. It means that you can, when you select this option, you can specify custom menu text, objects and methods for export. If we click properties, we will have this dialog window. First of all, we see where we have collected the information or the data. It's from this scene, the engine ICS. Configuration is default. If we choose that, click that button. I will click yes here first. We see that we have default to choose or include suppressed objects. When we add the bill of materials to the drawing, we can choose from include suppressed objects or default configuration. If include suppressed objects is chosen and you add the bill of materials and you have suppressed objects in the 3D scene, well, then it will be empty rows here in the bill of materials because the suppressed objects are invisible, but it will be shown as empty rows. So if you choose default, the suppressed objects will not be chosen when you add a bill of materials to the drawing. Then we have item bubble association. Now it's item number. So every item bubble has this number. We'll cancel this one and we'll move a bit like so. Right click again and click properties. So for example, this number 8 is the same number as here in the bill of materials. You can also have a split by item bubble. For example, if we see here default or upper split text, if we use a split item bubble, we have the item number in the upper part, and in the lower part we will have quantity as it is right now. But we can also choose custom information here. But we will have item number, and here we have display and bottom-up display. We have gone through that. I will click cancel. You can also double-click the bill of materials, or you can right-click to edit. But if you double-click, you come to the same dialog window. Here we can change the layout. For example, you can select a column and you right-click. You can format the cells, the column width, the row height, and insert column and insert rows and so on, and remove columns and rows. You can edit styles. You can add a customized style for the bill of material if you want. And you can also use horizontal alignment, vertical alignment, and style. You have all that information here, or the settings here in the menu at the top. If you come over here, you can change the fonts for the bill of materials, also the size of the fonts and the text color, and also the font color, and also the color in the cells. You can also change the border, the width of the border lines and the type of the lines. If you then come over to the item bubbles, I will come up here. Here, click this item bubble. If we look in the property browser, we see that we can change style from arrow to a point. And you can also grab the endpoint of the leader to move the endpoint to a more suitable location. You can do the same if you have an arrow. Click the endpoint and you will grab the endpoint like this and move it. You can also select the item bubble and right click, and in this menu you can add a leader line. For example, if this number represents 2 objects on the drawing, you can add a leader line and drag that leader line to the other object. End symbol, arrow, well, it's the same as in the property browser. You can also show knee. You can add a knee on the leader to get a more suitable position for or location for the item bubble. Frame, now it is a circle. You can change here. You can also have a split circle. Now we have information. The upper information is the item number, but the other is the quantity. Right click again. We have frame and we have styles, as we saw in the property browser, and we can also change layer for the item bubble. If I click properties, we have this dialog window. We can change, for example, now it is this box is checked, has knee. Well, I will uncheck that one right now. But if it's checked, you can also customize knee length. Now it's 4.5 millimeters. It is this distance, so you can make it longer or shorter. Now it is a split circle. It's the same as we did just a moment ago. And here, customize size. Well, right now the information is too large for the frame, so I can customize the width I will type 12 and I will click OK, and it will look like this. So right click again, properties, and I will uncheck the custom size like so, and I will click OK. I'll also go back to frame circle, and I will have an arrow. So, well, when you do like that, you will change only for this bubble, this item bubble. But if you want to change the properties for all the bubbles, you have to come up here to Common tab and Styles and Layers. If we drag the slider a bit, we will find item bubbles as drawing elements. And if we click that element, you will see here in styles we have two styles to choose from, arrow and point. If we click the point style and click modify, we recognize the property window. Here we can do additional changes, and when we have done the changes we can click OK, and then we come up here, the drawing element, to style. Here we can change, for example, bubble point instead of arrow, and we choose that one and then click OK. We will make the changes for all the bubbles. Then you have to save the drawing as a template to retain the changes you have made in the drawing, and you can use that template when you create another drawing. Well, that was a little bit about the settings for the item bubbles and also for the bill of materials. In the next video we will create our own bill of materials with our own style, and how we can create a template of that bill of materials.